What's going on, guys, and welcome to Who to Sign For. Now in this series I'm giving you my recommendations on what players to sign for a specific team in career mode. But before we go on, I will say that the signings you'll see aren't designed to be realistic, which is very important, and that the player ratings and potentials may vary depending on what database you're using and how the players perform for you during the season. You don't have to follow all the tips. This is really just a set of guidelines to give you a hand if you're stuck for ideas and want some suggestions on what players you could sign for a certain club. This is mainly aimed at those of you out there who may be new to the game and just want some help, or for those of you out there who may just be stuck for ideas on what players you could sign for a specific team in career mode. So in today's episode of Who to Sign For, guys, we are going to use Sevilla. Yes, Sevilla, who play Leicester City tonight in the Champions League round of 16 first leg. I did Monaco in my last Who to Sign For. I uploaded that last night, and of course they faced Manchester City, so I thought Sevilla would make sense as they're the other foreign team taking on the English team tonight in the Champions League. Now Sevilla, of course, a very decent Spanish team currently competing in La Liga. You see their objectives for the first season right here. They are supposed to finish in the top 4 in La Liga, so that's a Champions League place. They're also supposed to reach the round of 16 in the Copa del Rey as well. Last season, of course, were the runners-up of that competition before losing to Barcelona in the final, and also in the Champions League reached the semi-finals. Now, I must say, the league objective is definitely achievable. La Liga is quite a tough league, but getting into the top 4 once more is definitely achievable with Sevilla. Reaching around a 16 in the Copa del Rey, without question, a very easy aim, I would say. But the Champions League aim is quite tough. Reaching the semi-finals in the first season, can you do that? Well, this is a decent Sevilla team, I will say that much. Like Monaco, they have a couple of decent young players in there as well. Not quite as many young talents, but a couple of decent players, such as Sergio Rico, for example, the goalkeeper. Very good young goalkeeper that Sevilla currently have right now. They got some decent players, but I would say that with a budget of around £25 million after you've made adjustments, that Champions League game is quite a tough one. But I'll do my very best in today's episode to show you what transfers to make to try and give you the best possible chance of achieving all 3 of those aims. Now, they have 3 players currently out on loan right now. Nunes, Cristoforo, and also Konoplyanka, the Ukrainian, currently on loan at Schalke. I'd leave Cristoforo and Munoz where they are right now, but for Konoplyanka, definitely get the guy back. Now, you'll see Sevilla's default formation is a 5-3-2, so no wingers, and Konoplyanka is a left-sided player, but he's got some awesome stats, and I'll definitely recommend recalling him from his loan spell at the Veltins Arena. Cut it short, bring him back to Spain. He's a quality player, and on FIFA, he's really, really good as well, so definitely get Konoplyanka back. It only cost you like 300 grand to recall him. It's worth every penny. He's a really awesome player. But as for new signings with Sevilla, you saw the contract page there as well. 4 players have their deals up. I would let them all go. The 2 noteworthy ones are the left back Tremolinas and also Krohn Dali as well. I'd let go both of those guys go, and the youngsters too, as they don't have too much potential as you look to try and look for younger replacements. Speaking of younger replacements, I'd sell this centre back too, Pareja, an aging centre back you can now get rid of, and also the player that I'd look to sign as a replacement for him is Kurt Zuma. Yes, funny enough, in the last episode of Who to Sign For, we signed Zuma for Monaco. I'd also recommend bringing him into Spain as well. He's 80 overall, just 21 years old. We managed to get him for valuation in this save, with Monaco had to pay a couple million extra, but in this save, Chelsea accepted a valuation bid. Conte said that was fine, and we take him to Sevilla. He's got some great stats, and like I said in yesterday's episode, he's just really, really well rounded in the physical attribute department as well. He's pacey enough, I suppose. An 85 strength, 84 jumping is always useful, and this guy gets to 89 is full potential. A very decent player, and definitely my number 1 target for Sevilla. Bring him in, and even though it will cost you around 2/3 of your initial budget, I'd still say he's worth the money. Centre-back is the area to look in for Sevilla. If they're playing a 5 at the back, they've got 3 centre-backs in the first 11 at any time. You need someone that's really good and is going to grow to an absolute monster in the future, like Kurt Zuma would. I'd also recommend selling Mariano as well, a right-back. Sevilla have a couple of those, and also one that's just joined the club as well at 79 overall. Mariano is someone you can get rid of, really. He's disposable. You can get rid of him, and I'd recommend trying to get valuation. And also with Crone Dali as well, I did say a moment ago, I'd let this guy go. He's 33 years old now, an 81 overall, so a decent enough player, but once you've recalled Conor Playanka, you won't have much use for him. Let the guy go for around £10 million. That's a decent fee there for a player that's only going to get worse as the years go by. But as for new signings with Sevilla, I'd also recommend this guy as well. Hector Bellerin, 80 overall, right back, 21 years old, currently playing for Arsenal. Now, I did say at the start of the episode, like I say at the start of every episode from now on, these signings aren't designed to be realistic, so please keep that in mind. But Bellerin will be a great signing for Sevilla, though. He might cost you quite a bit of money, but he's a right-back with 87 potential. He's absolutely rapid, and he has 84 stamina already at just 21 years old. So like Kurt Zouma, he's going to be thrown right in the first team, and he's going to grow to one of the best players in his position as he hits his full potential. I think we managed to get him for £20 million and get him away from the Emirates and bring him back to Spain. And again, he's a really awesome right back, absolutely fantastic player. And on career mode again, when you look at his range of stats, he's literally perfect for his role as well. As you'll see in just a moment's time, his stats once more. I think he has 96 for both acceleration and sprint speed, and again 84 stamina. And this is, to begin with, this is his base rating. When he gets to 87 overall, he's going to have 99 for acceleration and sprint speed, and the stamina is most likely to be 90 plus as well. This guy's got some great defensive stats to go along with some decent attacking stats when getting forward as a fullback already, crossing 74, ball control 76, dribbling 76 as well. He's going to become one of the best right backs in the world at his full potential. He's got great work rates too, high medium for a right back. Very, very good signing. Even though, like Kurt Zouma, you'll be spending an awful lot of money on the guy, I'd say he's worth every single penny. As for sales as well, just like Crone Dali, I did say let him go, and also this one too. Tremolinas, 30 years old, 81 overall rated left back. Now you might say, why let him go? He's clearly good enough to still be Sevilla's first choice, despite being 30 years old. But the problem with career mode is when a player hits 30, they begin to decrease pretty much instantly. It's really frustrating. EA have barely ever sorted it out, but players, when they get into their 30s, pretty much always start decreasing in rating. So you want to try and maximize your profit you can get on the guy, or maximize the amount of money you can get on the guy, I should say, straight away. And so if you can get around £10 million for him, I'd say take it, as you're not going to give him a new long-term deal. But as for a replacement for Tremolinas, once you sold the French left-back, you could possibly play Escudero, who's only 2 ratings lower, I think it is, at 79 overall, and decent enough for the first team. Or you could sign another new left-back, and I'd recommend another French left-back too, but someone that is far younger. Levin Kurzawa, the former Monaco left-back, now playing for Paris Saint-Germain, 23 years old, 80 overall. So you're not taking too much of a step back from Tremolinas, and this guy starts off 80 overall, but at his full potential, like Hector Bellerin, grows to an 87. So imagine those two fullbacks in a 5 at the back formation for Sevilla as the years go by, as they'll operate primarily as wing-backs, getting forward, but still being defensively sound as well. Kurza on the left, Bellerin on the right. They'll be absolutely fantastic fullbacks for you, and I always find that fullbacks slash wing-backs at a 5 at the back are really, really important. That's why I look to try and sign 2-1s here in this who to sign for Sevilla. And again, I would definitely recommend Kurzawa alongside Bellerin as well. Like Bellerin and Zouma, you're spending an awful lot of money on the guy. He'll cost you around £18.5 million. That's the deal I negotiate with PSG. I must say, I got very, very lucky there as well. That was like my final negotiation on deadline day, and just about managed to get PSG to accept it. £18.5 million, the fourth chance of asking, I think it was, 4th time of asking. But anyway, Kurzawa, a great player. He's already got some brilliant stats. Physically, very well-rounded indeed. He's got greens everywhere. Like, he's really, really well-rounded, both offensively and defensively, and I'd certainly recommend Kurzawa as your replacement for Tremolina. So in the end then, just 3 signings for Sevilla, but around £55 million spent on Zouma, Bellerin, and Kurzawa as well. But you're improving that back line. They'll all go into the first team. So 3 of your 5 at the back now are all new players. They're young players. They got high potential as well. And really, that's all you need to do with Sevilla. It's a really good base base team to begin with. You don't have much money to begin with either, but if you can make those 3 little changes right there, you're getting rid of some deadwood like Crone Dali, like Tremolinas as well. Decent enough players, but players who you don't have much of a future for, and you're making the team look younger and a little bit better as well. So 3 new signings and £55 million, and as per usual, we simulate to the end of the season, see how Sevilla would get on. A reminder, they were supposed to finish in the top 4 in the league, also reached around 16 in the Copa del Rey and the semi-finals of the Champions League. Well, we hit the league objective. Sevilla finished in that 4th spot. That was the 4th and final place for a Champions League for next season. So league objective, ding, that was completed. They lost in the Supercopa final to Barcelona, although that's not an objective. But in the Copa del Rey, they met that objective too. They reached around the 16th stage. So ding, there's another one there before losing to the eventual winners Real Madrid. But the Champions League was the one, unfortunately, my Sevilla team after the simulation did fail, and quite catastrophically, because they couldn't even get out of their group, and they finished in 4th place with the wooden spoon with just 5 points and 1 win. So yeah, damn. I mean, but they hit the league one, they hit the cup one, and again, I always say, you know, I'll simulate to the end of the season, and I'll always show you whether one was a failure or not. I always will, and that Champions League was probably the worst one I've had in any Who to Sign For ever. They were supposed to reach the semi-finals of the competition, and they finished in 4th place in the group, not even 3rd place to go into the Europa League. Yeah, that was quite a bad one. But anyway, the domestic games were completed. That was really cool, and as you can see here as well, how Kurza, Bellerin, and Zuma got on the first season. I think all 3 of those signings, despite the money you'd spend, around £55 million, would be worth it. You're making the team look younger, you're building for the future with this Sevilla side, and the team, in my opinion, looks a bit better than when you took over. Not, you know, massively so, but a little bit better as the team gets younger and has a bit more improved quality in the first team, as well as potential for the future as well. But that will end today's episode of Who to Sign For, guys, so I hope you have enjoyed it. If you did enjoy the tips I gave, then please do leave a like. I definitely would say Sevilla will be a good career mode team to use as well. Quite a challenging one in the first season with the Champions League game, certainly as I found out, and not a big budget either, but some changes you can make in the first season to make the team look a lot better, or a little bit better I should say, with high potential players coming in. I think Sevilla for many years will be a really good fun team to use in La Liga as you try and outmuscle Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid, and Barcelona too in Spain. But thank you for watching the episode. Hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, then please do leave a like. Comment below for the next team to do in Who to Sign For series, and I'll see you for the next episode very soon.